News 5 Live, immigration officers quarantined for COVID-19. A cluster discovered in Midway Village, and a former Belize City mayor is made a senator, opening the door for a possible UDP leadership bid. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Since its launch, over 900 students have successfully completed the Social Security Scholarship Program.
I am Fatima Che, co-founder of L3Gs and Associates and owner of Fatima Archer Group of Consultancy Services. In 2009, I graduated from the University of Belize with a bachelor's degree in accounting. And I'm very grateful that Social Security had given me the opportunity by offering me a scholarship to pursue my career.
I am Renata Samuels. I am the Yearport Coordinator for the Department of Youth Services. I received the Social Security Scholarship for high school in 2010. Upon receiving it, I was beyond happy, thankful, and super relieved to know that I relieved my mom from the financial constraint of having to pay for my high school. It actually pushed me to work even harder to know that I am deserving of this scholarship. I implore others, apply for this scholarship. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, as well as being one step closer to your own dreams.
The Social Security Board is committed to providing educational opportunities to persons on a mission to improve their lives and communities.
Try it first.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese, exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
Welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, June 28th. I am Sabrina Daly. A dozen immigration officers attached to the Philip Golson International Airport are in quarantine tonight after they tested positive over the weekend. In a press release issued late this evening, the Ministry of Immigration says that its entire staff at the PGIA is in isolation following the positive cases among the team. To continue uninterrupted service, the ministry says, quote, staff from the Immigration Department who have experience working at the airport are substituting, unquote. This evening, Minister of Health and Wellness, Michelle Shabat, told the press more about this first cluster of COVID-19 cases at the airport.
12 of the 17 immigration officers tested positive over the weekend at the PGIA. Since then, there has been an additional, I believe it is 122 persons who work at PGIA have been tested, and they're all negative. They're all negative so far. So that is the position really with what's happening at PGIA.
And have health officials identified the index case and where that person got infected and how?
No, we don't yet have that information. I do not yet have.
But is it believed that the person, the index case, brought it to the PGA or got infected there?
I don't know, and I would not want to speculate. It is still too new. These numbers just came about over the weekend, so it is something we're still conducting contact tracing for the PGIA. And so that is still very new. We're still working on that. It's difficult to pinpoint because, as you correctly say, you have many people passing through the airport. So it is more difficult to determine who the index case would have been in that scenario.
Shabat noted that this is the first cluster of cases at a port of entry in Belize since the pandemic began over a year ago. There are reports of a COVID-19 cluster and possible community spread in Midway Village in the Toledo district. Information is that so far more than 20 positive cases were confirmed 2 days ago. Today, News 5's Andrea Polanco spoke with Chairman Marco Ico via phone for an update. He says a vaccination team detected symptoms in one resident, who then tested positive. Chairman Eco says it is not known where the man contracted the virus, but that contact tracing is underway in nearby villages.
The COVID situation out here is not really showing much. Like people are ill, people are sick. They're not showing. The symptoms are not showing. So they're getting positive results. 2 days ago, we have I guess about 24 results positive. So I'm not saying if we're getting more after that, but I believe that we're trying to prevent as much each other, right? So that we cannot spread to the older people. So we're trying to. We already swabbed the shops, the corn mills, and other places. Only a couple families that they have, but only among their families.
Okay, so it's relatives. The people who have tested positive are all relatives to each other?
Yes.
Were they being safe, or did they get a little bit too relaxed?
Well, all of that was being forced to do because as the community health worker also, I am the community health worker also as the chairman. So I've made a lot of people. I met with them. I told them make sure they have the proper wear of mask, washing of hands, going to the shops, going to anybody, meeting somebody. You have to get a social distance so that you cannot spread the virus.
Mm-hmm. And were they following your advice?
Well, my people is following my advice. I saw it good, and then along with the alcalde working together to enforce this so that the spread of the COVID will not be spreading much more. Right? Why we get this message? It is somebody that who has symptoms of couple days when the vaccination team came to Midway. And when we find out from the vaccination team, the nurses, they said that when they test him, it's possible. So they never give him vaccine, but they told him that they will come back and swab all the families from his relatives. And they swab him. They swab the families and they get his wife positive also. But the children was not positive, so I don't see why this kind of going so much farther. And when they swab him and then we already worked with him during the week, they had the virus.
Okay.
So I think that's the only person that brings the virus, but I don't know where he found it.
To get an official update this evening, Minister of Health and Wellness Michelle Shabat spoke with the press via Zoom about that developing possible spread of COVID-19 in Midway Village in Toledo. Shabat says that the number of confirmed cases in that southern community stands at 25, and that the person who was detected last week is the index case. Now, the ministry is considering stepping up containment measures for that village. Here's more from Minister Shabat.
Based on the surveillance that was done in Midway Village, 25 persons were found to be positive for the COVID-19 virus. We found the index case to be a person from the village who actually works in Barranco. That is the index case cluster.
Okay, so talk to us about the connection in terms to Barranco. Was it that person got it?
He actually lives in Midway, but he works in Barranco. And from the contact tracing that was done, it is believed that he's the index, what they call the index case. No?
But in terms of his infection, is it that he got infected at work at a social event in Barranco, or have you figured that out?
Yeah, we believe that his family members were also infected. So he may have gotten it through them. Or vice versa, right? Or vice versa.
Okay, so talk to us about controlling the spread there.
Right. Well, we definitely are putting in the quarantine measures down there. People who have tested positive are required to stay at home. The teams are down there conducting more tests. I know that an additional 116 tests have been done, and we're waiting for results. The measures we've used before are being now enforced in that village, and we are also looking at the possibility of shutting down some of the areas where people congregate in the village.
So as you just heard, Minister Michelle Shabat says that the cases were detected not just among family members, but among other villagers. One of the concerns at this time is the use of public buses to move through the villages. So with 25 cases in that community, does this classify as community spread? That's what we asked the Minister of Health and Wellness.
Minister, are you able to classify if this spread that you have is community spread?
Well, at this time, it is difficult to say, Andrea. It is still very much limited to the Midway village. But like I said, we still have the results of some tests pending. And once those numbers are in, then the EPI team will be able to make that decision.
Has the team been able to determine if these cases that have been confirmed positive, if these are limited to just maybe relatives of certain families?
Well, like you said, it started with the index case and that family, but spread to the other members of the community. 25 persons of that community have it. Now, we don't want to say yet it is a community spread at this time. We're waiting for the additional test results to come out before that determination can be made.
Minister, are you able to say if that spread perhaps happened in a public space? Maybe they go to the same church or they shop at the same store?
But that is the concern that we have down there, Andrea. And that is why I said that we're looking at additional measures just in relation to Midway Village, and a decision will be made on that shortly.
It appears they use the same bus that travels from Barranco, and it goes all through different villages till it gets out to the highway, and from there continues to Punta Gorda.
That is a big concern for us. Public transportation is a big concern for us, and we are aware of this situation with the bus that goes between the villages. We are concerned that when our public health inspectors were down there, they actually saw this bus moving around, and they reported that most of the people were not wearing a mask.
According to Minister Shabat, they have one recorded case of COVID-19 in neighboring village of Conejo in Toledo. Coming up, Darrell Bradley steps up as senator. Is he the most likely replacement for Patrick Faber? Stay with us.
For a premium lubricant when you're on the go, or a premium brake fluid when you need to stop, choose the brand that's built for champions. Come to Premium Lubricants, distributed by Enrique Martinez and Sons Limited, 2 miles Philip Goldson Highway, Belize City. WhatsApp us at 606-4154.
DG and the National Bank of Belize are proud to partner with the Government of Belize to facilitate the disbursement of Belize COVID-19 cash transfer funds via our safe and easy-to-use mobile pays platform. After getting approval that you will be a beneficiary of the relief funds, you will be informed by SMS when your monthly payment has been deposited to your mobile pays account, which Digistore or National Bank branch you were assigned to, and when you can go in to collect. You must bring along the phone that the notification was sent to in order to present your account number and to receive your validation code and SMS receipt. You must also bring along a valid Social Security card. After your information is verified, you will receive a validation code which you are to give to the agent. The agent will hand over the full amount of funds allotted to you for that month, and you will receive an SMS receipt with a unique number for that transaction. Digi and the National Bank of Belize are committed to the development of innovative services for the benefit of all Belizeans.
The Public Utilities Commission PUC hereby notifies the public that on June 24, 2021, it made its final decision in respect of the 2021 Annual Review Proceeding ARP for the Belize Electricity Limited BEL. The Belize Electricity Limited BEL made a submission for an Annual Review Proceeding ARP on April 1, 2021. It requested that both the mean electricity rate MER at 0.4018 per kilowatt hour and tariffs be retained for the next annual tariff period as per the value set in the 2020 FTRP final decision. In applying the rate setting methodology, RSM, the MER was assessed to be 0.3999 per kilowatt hour for the remainder of the full tariff period from July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2024, as compared to 0.4018 per kilowatt hour previously assessed in the 2020 FTRP final decision. In the initial decision, the Commission maintained the current schedule of fees and charges levied by BEL, but reduced the tariffs in consequence of a downward assessment in the MER to 0.399 per kilowatt hour. Only the BEL submitted feedbacks on this initial decision, wherein the licensee expressed misgivings on the projections used by the Commission in arriving at its decision, and on the failure to meet standards of performance penalty regime employed. Without objections, the initial decision is hereby adopted as the final decision. The final decision may be viewed in its entirety at the offices at the Public Utilities Commission at 41 Gabriel Lane, Belize City, or on the PUC website at www.puc.bz. Further details will also be published in the next editions of several newspapers widely circulated in Belize.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include Cath Lab, Adult Intensive Care Unit, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
St. John's Credit Union.
Have you ever fallen delinquent on your loan payment? Don't know how to get back on track? Bounce back with St. John's Credit Union. Get 10 to 50% off interest and fee when you pay your arrears in full or make suitable payment arrangements on your account. Members who take advantage of this offer get a chance to enter a raffle to win fabulous prizes. Members are advised that this offer ends September 30th. Some conditions apply.
St. John's Credit Union Limited. Safe saving, smart borrowing.
Former Senate President Darrell Bradley is returning to the upper house as an opposition parliamentarian next Wednesday. The twice-elected former Belize City Mayor replaces Khalid Belisle, himself a former head of municipal government who was just appointed to the Senate on June 7th. Belisle's abrupt removal appears to be a part of an urgent power play being made on the political chessboard by opposition leader Shine Barrow to clear the way for Bradley to re-enter the National Assembly. The move sets in motion a direct course for an unelected Bradley to enter the leadership race, since Parliament is the only vehicle through which he can vie for control of the United Democratic Party. This morning, Barrow wrote to Governor General Forla Salam informing her of the change of senators. Incidentally, Bradley was also on Channel 5's Open Your Eyes this morning, where the question was put to him about his projected path to steer the free-falling UDP.
The leader of the opposition is the one who has that call to make. So he's essentially saying, well, look, if I am Shine Barrow at this point, and I am clamoring for certain change, if I remove Khalid Belisle and replace him with you, if I have that confidence in you as a potential leader, then by virtue of you being in the Senate, allows you now to be able to run for party leader, should there be that opportunity following a successful recall convention? That is what I'm asking you.
That's correct. You're correct. Everything that you've said is correct. So that in order, according to the party constitution, you have to be a member of the National Assembly. So right now I can't even run for party leader because I'm not a member of the National I'm not a member of the National Assembly, and I'm not even a delegate, so I can't even vote. I mean, even if I were to run, I can't vote for myself, which doesn't make any sense. But like that question is not a question now because I am not currently eligible. And then secondly, the office is currently not vacant.
With as many as 290 signatures needed to trigger a recall convention, some members of the United Democratic Party believe that Patrick Faber should simply step down on his own volition. This, however, is not an option that Faber is prepared to explore. The area representative for Collett made it abundantly clear on Friday that he is not withdrawing from his position. This morning, Bradley shared his opinion on Faber's political peril, as well as the pending recall convention set for July 11th.
If you have a situation where I cannot command the support of the majority of people in my party or in the government or in the opposition, then the honorable thing to do would be for me to leave. If I need to take a leave of absence, if I need to reflect, if I need to whatever, you will never ever see Darrell Bradley campaigning for a job that people don't want me. Can Patrick Faber go out there to the public and sell the United Democratic Party as a reform party? The party is no. So you're asking me if I believe that he should be. That's not my place to answer. Do I believe that he can represent the highest ideals of the party? No. No. And I think that the party needs introspection, and we need to reflect on ourselves in relation to what image we want to put out.
A part of what was...
If it were for my own personal reasons, and if it was truly a decision that I could make on my own, and that I would make on my own that wouldn't affect the wider party and the wider nation of Belize, I would walk away. I would walk away. The burden of having your colleagues shoot you, stab you in your back, torment you, is not an easy burden when it is you have done nothing to your colleagues in the party.
Amid the leadership struggle facing the UDP, the names of two likely replacements are emerging should Faber's ouster at a pending recall convention be successful. They are Chairman Michael Perifete and ex-Mayor Darrell Bradley. Both have held senior positions within the party, but have failed at securing the seats they ran for in Freetown and Caribbean Shores, respectively. But does that make them any less formidable, considering the fact that neither of them is currently under fire or caught up in controversy? While Faber spoke briefly on Belisle's removal at a press conference on Friday, he also positioned himself as the candidate to beat, given his record of successive victories in the past general elections.
None of the elected people really want, or at least there's no majority among the 5 parliamentarians to say that any one of those members of the House ought to be the leader of the party. And so they will seek to go outside of those who are elected. To do that, they will have to make changes to the Senate, or they will have to use one of the current senators. As I told you, I have been reliably informed that there is a move afoot now to remove Khalid Bilal as a senator and to place Darrell Bradley there. It is factual that of the names that have been called to take on the leadership of the party, which are Darrell Bradley and Michael Perry-Feet, that both of those individuals have failed at the polls before. In terms of Bradley, he made an unsuccessful bid in Caribbean Shores. And I know what people will say, well, the man won in the municipal election, but the truth is that a municipal elections is won completely differently from the general elections. And in the case of my colleague and friend, the chairman of the party, he made a bid, I think it was in 2012, in the Freetown constituency, which he lost very narrowly. And then he made a second attempt to defeat, along with that mighty power, to represent the people of Port Loyola, where he wasn't successful. So it is a tremendous gamble for anybody who is listening. You have a party leader who has won 5 general elections without fail.
In response to Fauber's numerical breakdown, Bradley acknowledges the analysis but maintains that he will win on the strength of his own ideas.
I hear that. I don't believe that argument. I don't ascribe to that argument. And it goes back to what I'm saying. I will win on my ideas. So if you're coming about, and this is something that I think needs to be part of the conversation, we need to really look wider on the electoral process. We need to look wider on things like manifestos and the vision of the party, because if all you're saying to me is you want a number and you want to be able to win an election, what happens when you win an election? There's no change. You win the election, but there's no reform. So how is it that we can present the best image for the party? We need to soul search, and we need to have change at the very, very top.
After the break, there's more news after the break, including 2 fatal accidents in the south and shootings in Belize City. Find out more when we return, but first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
This COVID update is brought to you by Belize Medical Associates. This COVID update was brought to you by Belize Medical Associates.
Nation, rain or shine, any weather. When we go ball, we go Berger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go ball, we go Berger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this reason. When we say ball, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go ball, we go Berger. When we go ball, we go Berger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go ball, we go Berger.
Hey guys, I'm Brighton Codd, and I want to tell you about an app that's going to change the insurance game. Imagine insurance made easy. That's exactly what Home Protector Insurance has done with the new HPI app. Instant claims, fast transactions, and real-time updates are just a few of the ways this insurance app is going to change your life. Whether it's for your car, your house, your life, or any of the other services provided, HPI app has got you covered. With a user-friendly interface, only with Home Protector can you get all your insurance needs in the palm of your hands. But don't take my word for it. Download the app, give it a try. Let me know what you think. And if you're not insured with Home Protector, then we've got to have a serious talk.
How is electricity sourced, transmitted, and distributed? We'll explain how we get power to you safely for your everyday use. BEL purchases most of the power you use from independent power producers in Belize and Mexico. The energy we provide to customers comes from a mix of renewable and non-renewable sources such as hydro, biomass, fossil fuel, solar, and a combination of sources from CFE. More than half of the energy produced in Belize is from renewable sources, making Belize #1 in the Caribbean and #2 in all of North and Central America. So how does this power get to your home? High voltage electricity moves for long distances from where it is generated along transmission lines that deliver to substations countrywide where the voltage is reduced. The lower voltage electricity is then transported by power lines to transformers on your neighborhood utility poles. The transformer further reduces the voltage so that electricity can make its way into your homes through your meters. How are electricity rates determined? The Public Utilities Commission, PUC, sets electricity rates on a cost recovery basis. BEL projects the amount of electricity customers will need and the cost of buying and distributing it. Together, BEL and PUC use these projections to do a full tariff review every 4 years and annual reviews. The public is informed of these proceedings, so they have a say. The rates approved by PUC reflects the total cost of BEL to serve customers divided by the entire amount of electricity used by customers. If projections are too high and result in overcollection, rates are reduced going forward. When projections are too low and result in undercollection, rates are increased in future tariff review periods to recover losses. If we buy power from producers that cost less, we can charge less. This is why we are focused on securing new, cheaper sources of energy like solar power. What other solutions do we plan to introduce soon? AMI or smart meters. These provide real-time information on consumption and empowers customers to manage their bills. Solar energy. We are looking forward to adding solar generation to our mix and offer rooftop solar PV to reduce costs and improve reliability. Electric ground transportation. We aim to convert 50% of ground transportation in Belize to electric. By learning how to read your meter, you will better understand how you consume energy and how your monthly bill is determined. Manage your energy use by conserving wherever possible. We continue to serve our customers by keeping you updated and making it easy to reach us anytime from anywhere. Whether it's getting information about our programs, connecting new service, providing options to pay your electricity bill, or reporting a hazard, we are always here for you.
The Moran Avila family in Belmopan is tonight still grappling with the death of their loved one, who died in a road traffic accident on Friday night on the Hummingbird Highway. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
38-year-old Marlon Jose Moran Avila was heading south from Belmopan towards Dangriga when he crashed into an orange orchard just after crossing the bridge and taking the curve at mile 21. He was traveling in a silver Isuzu D-Max pickup when he lost control of the vehicle and it flipped several times after slamming into an orange tree.
11:40 p.m. police arrived at an area around mile 21 on the Hummingbird Highway where they found him trapped in his Isuzu pickup truck. in an orchard. Investigations have so far revealed that he was driving at an excessive speed when he lost control of his vehicle, overturned in that orchard, and unfortunately lost his life.
Avila was pinned inside the vehicle and died on the spot. The jaws of life had to be brought in to assist with extricating his body from the extensively damaged vehicle. Among the debris at the scene were over half a dozen of beer bottles, some unopened. While Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood could not confirm whether Avila had been drinking, it is believed that speeding was involved.
I wouldn't want to go deep into that because, like I said, it's only in initial investigation. But we have seen a rise of these sort of accidents on, especially the Hummingbird Highway and now the Southern Highway, where I believe the road condition has been improved and people are taking advantage of it. Unfortunately, if you want to speed, you should try to do that at a racetrack. Because when you're on the highway, driving without due care and attention is very serious. And we have seen where a lot of people have become victims because of this type of behavior when driving. I am not saying in particularly the Moran incident, but we have seen over the past month or so where we have quite a number of accidents between Belmopan to all the way down to Toledo.
One resident says that in the past few months, this is the third accident to occur in that area. This incident, though, was fatal. ASP Yearwood makes an appeal to drivers.
We want to ask drivers, while you're out there, let's be responsible. Drive with due care and attention, and let's drive within the speed limit. It is important because the makers of these vehicles and the builders of these highways, these engineers, know why they recommend certain speed limits for town or within the city and for the highways. We need to abide by these rules, and we can hopefully reduce these sort of incidents, no? And maybe even save our own lives.
Moran Avila's family was too distraught today to make a comment on the incident, but they are awaiting information from police as to when the postmortem will be conducted on his body. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Early this morning, there was another fatal accident that occurred in the south, this time in Toledo District. A teacher was traveling on his motorcycle when he was struck head-on by a pickup truck. The impact sent Juan Chun into some bushes and to his death. ASP Fitzroy Yearwood shared the preliminary details of the fatal road traffic accident.
Juan Chun, a 54-year-old teacher, was driving his motorbike somewhere around Big Falls Village, approaching the bridge, when driver George Ortega was driving a pickup in the opposite direction. It would appear that Ortega lost control of the pickup, fatally hitting Mr. Chun, who was hit somewhere off the road into some nearby bushes. He died on the spot now.
The mother of a one-year-old child is tonight grateful that her child's father is alive and her baby is unharmed after a gunman targeted their family home on Victoria Street. Today, News 5 spoke to Shandy Vernon, who was socializing with a group of relatives on Friday night when the shooter approached the home and began firing indiscriminately. Vernon described the scene she witnessed and how she ran to the aid of her toddler, who fell from the arms of a wounded father. News 5's Paul Lopez files that report.
I see somebody made a call, but I never know that gunshot them made a call, shoot up and thing. So when I really get a sense that I shoot, then I call shoot, that because I see the person just raise up the gun and I run. Knowing my mom still made to sit down in the chair, and when we run and thing, my baby, my boy hand for my baby drop and all. So I had to turn around and just pick up my baby and run under the house.
Vernon says the child's father was wounded and unable to assist the child. She decided to abandon her cover to rescue her child while gunshots were still being fired. Are you saying that you risked your life while shots were being fired to go and fetch your child?
Yeah, I gave back my baby when the shooting something happened.
What was that experience like for you? What was going through your mind?
Well, for me, I still in a shock like right now because, like what I said, I never expect it. That something will happen unexpected and it happened so fast.
The gunman fled the scene, leaving behind screams and wailing from inside the yard. 3 persons were injured in the shooting: Jeffrey Pott, Derek Jones, and Rosa Garbut. We spoke to Jones's mother, Lydia Estrada.
We don't know nothing. Right now we in a shock. We really confused. We really want to know the answer right about now. We don't know why and how and what. We don't really know what caused this.
Was your son, nephew, or any one of the victims involved in any sort of activities that may have led up to the shooting?
Well, no way I know of. I don't know that they know nothing.
Describe maybe a bit, perhaps, your son and your nephew in terms of the type of persons they are.
Well, they're not kind of people like get drink, they like take their lead drink, they have their fun, they quarrel one another, then they go in, then next day morning they make up back. That's all I know them about.
Boyfriend, in conversation with him, did he ever mention having beef or some sort of issue?
No, he never tell me nothing about no beef or nothing like that. I don't know nothing about it kind of thing. So.
Unlike Jones and Pott, Estrada is not a resident of Belize City.
My mother for Placentia, she just come down the same Friday, cause spend like a day or 2 days with me and my baby there, cause she usually call here we are go back. But this one time she get caught up in something.
Jones has since been released from the hospital. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Police are yet to establish a motive for the shooting. Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood told us they are close to making an arrest.
Friday 25th of June, sometime around 10:40 p.m., they had some individuals socializing at a yard on Victoria Street, 2 male and a female, where Jeffrey Pott, Derek Jones, and a young lady, elderly lady rather, were socializing when they were approached by a male individual who came up behind a fence and opened fire at them. That person then ran through an alley opposite where they were, made good his escape. Pat received injuries to his stomach, listed in a critical but stable condition. Jones received an injury to his foot. He is listed in a stable condition. And the female received injuries to her stomach also, who is listed in critical condition. So far, our investigators are following up on some leads where they believe that they have obtained useful information and hope to make an arrest soon. No? On that street in particular, we have a few residents that police constantly visit because of various infractions of the law. So I will not pretty up anything. They were out socializing, which we have begged, stressed on for people to cease from doing at this time due to the pandemic. So for any or multiple reasons, they were easy targets because of being out in the open like that and not knowing which direction any person or maybe somebody that has a conflict with you would want to launch an attack on you.
In a separate shooting, a Belize City officer came under fire after a gang of men ambushed him in the Belize Port Authority area. Police believe they were attempting to steal his firearm. The officer managed to escape, but not before being shot in the foot.
Sergeant Noel Muschamp was on a feeder road about half mile into the Port Authority compound when he claimed that he was servicing his licensed firearm, and upon leaving the area where he was, 4 young men blocked that feeder road where he had to speed up towards them because one of them was armed. Upon driving past them, shots were fired at him. He managed to return fire, where he made good his escape from that area, where he called for police assistance and was transported to KHMH. He was hit in the right calf area. Since then, Jason Gonges has been charged for use of deadly means of harm and wounding in relation to that incident.
So far, Gonges is the only arrest following the incident. A stabbing victim was airlifted from Keycocker over the weekend and is hospitalized at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital, where he's being treated for his injury. The crime was reportedly perpetrated by a woman who inflicted a single stab wound to his chest. While details on the incident were scant, Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood commented on the matter briefly.
In Keycocker, we received a report that, yes, he was stabbed. He was transported by air ambulance to Belize. He was stabbed to the chest, actually. And we have 1 female detained. I am almost certain that that female will be charged shortly. But to give you an update on his condition, I am not at liberty as yet because I haven't received an update on him. But as soon as this female is charged, I will release her name to you and other particulars and circumstances surrounding that incident.
News 5 has confirmed that Canadian Jasmine Harton remains on remand at the Belize Central Prison in Hattieville. Last Friday, the 32-year-old mother of 2 appeared before Justice Herbert Lord and was remanded to the prison after the judge granted a request of Frank Habet to withdraw the bail he posted on her behalf, as well as the signed surety of the same amount. Since then, Harton has been unable to post the bail of $30,000 cash plus a surety of the same amount, and as such remains behind bars. On Friday, Harton was also arraigned in the San Pedro Magistrates Court for common assault and possession of a controlled drug. She was offered bail of $1,000 for those drugs, for those charges, that is, before she was brought to Belize City before the Supreme Court. Just ahead, a baby has already lost sight in one eye. Find out what you can do to help him get treatment when we come back.
It's a hammer, it's a drill, it's Super Handy Dads. That's right, folks, it's Super Handy Dads month again at Brothers Event. And do we have some super gifts for that super special dad? A Super Handy Dad needs his super tools. And all month long, we're giving you super savings of 15% off all power tools and accessories from Stanley, Black & Decker, DeWalt, Skill, Bosch, and 15% off Santool hand tools and hardware. So come in today to Brothers Habet on Barrack Road for Super Handy Dads Month and pick up those super tools at super savings.
What is climate change? Climate change, or global warming, as defined by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, is said to be the process of our planet heating up. The Earth has warmed by an average of 1 degree Celsius in the last century, and although that might not sound like much, it means big things for humans and wildlife around the globe. Rising temperatures is making our weather more extreme and unpredictable. Some impacts of climate change in Belize are flooding, drought, unstable weather patterns, and changes in seasons that affect agriculture, human, and wildlife activities. What is REDD+? REDD Plus is a mitigation activity to reduce carbon emissions and increase carbon stock in the forest sector. The name REDD Plus stands for Reducing Emission from Deforestation and Forest Degradation, plus Conservation, Sustainable Management of Forest and Carbon Stock Enhancement. How can REDD Plus be a solution? Trees breathe the greenhouse gases we produce. We can start caring more for our forests by planting more trees and keeping our landscapes intact. Our forests are part of the solution. Also, by encouraging the adoption of sustainable forest management in Belize, we can help restore forests that have been lost.
Forests are linked to all aspects of human well-being. Think about the clean air that forests provide, that oxygen that we breathe. If it wasn't so clean, especially during that fire season, we would actually be facing a lot of problems. So breathing clean air is something that we may take for granted, but it's actually something that forest provides and that contributes to our health and happiness. One of the advantages of doing things associated with REDD Plus in Belize is that it actually is a great mechanism for us to be able to maintain forests while at the same time sustainably using them and keeping all the services and goods that the forest provides to us intact, for example, water. At night, it's the trees and the plants in the forest that actually release that water that goes up in the atmosphere and eventually comes back as rain. If we don't have forests, that water is gone. If we think about our food security and the food that we eat, the agriculture industry and how important it is for Belize, we don't necessarily associate it sometimes with actual forests, but it's those forests that actually feed the soil organisms that cycle the nutrients and make our soils fertile. It's those forests that are a house and home for pollinators that pollinate our crops. And it's those forests that maintain the water that our agricultural areas need to thrive. Otherwise, we would be subject to things like droughts.
There is hope with REDD Plus.
Continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
A family from the Pomona Valley is asking for the public's help to get treatment for their infant. 9-month-old Jaden Nicholas Chacon has been diagnosed with a condition known as hemangiomas. The child's mother began noticing a change in the child's face at 4 months old. Over the past 5 months, the benign tumor has taken over the entire left side of the baby's head, preventing him from seeing out of his left eye. The family says they were told his condition is treatable through surgery or laser treatment. Today we spoke to Jaden's grandmother, Myrna Zoll.
I have friends out there praying for baby Jaden to get better. It's not easy. It's very, very hard to see him suffering. So I cry out already to people who can help us, because it's really, really hurt. Try doing anything for the baby. Just watch him that growing and growing. Don't affect his eyes, his ears, and right now is affected by his neck. So 2 days at back, my daughter told me that the baby is giving trouble for breastfeeding. So I just ask God, just make someone out there just try help out with that medication with the baby, or what doctor that said that they could do the treatment for him. Well, so far when I talked to a doctor to Guatemala, he speak to me already. He told me roughly, just roughly, is about 35,000 quetzal. That is not including my daughter, where she's going to stay, and her food, not included. So we are waiting for that response. He was about 4 months old when I saw the hemangioma growing. So my daughter told me, Mommy, in the baby face is growing, it's growing. So I work, my husband work. So I am here to always support my daughter. So I told her, you know what? I need to seek medicals for the baby. I have 2 kids already. No one knows my story, but I work very hard. My husband, I have 2 babies diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So it's very, very hard for me, very hard. So when I see the condition of the baby, I say, Lord, that make it 3.
Anyone wishing to contact Myrna Zoll to offer financial support for baby Jaden can contact her at 608-9982. The family and friends of Lucinda Montejo earlier today made an appeal for blood donation. And the good news tonight is that the family has received more than the amount they requested. Montejo and her daughter, Kaylin, were traveling on the George Price Highway when the SUV they were traveling in collided with a tourist van. Lucinda and Kaylin received various degrees of injuries and were listed in critical condition after they were rushed to the San Ignacio Community Hospital. They were both in need of blood. Montejo needed O positive and Kaylin B positive. Late this evening, News 5 spoke with the family and confirmed that their appeal on social media was successful and that both received more than enough pints of blood. The family asked that the public continues to pray for the full recovery of the mother and daughter. News 5. The National Women's Commission is working to establish a chapter in San Pedro to address the number of domestic violence and gender-based violence cases in Key Cocker and Ambergers Key. Late last week, a meeting was held with various stakeholders from both public and private sector entities, including NGOs, to establish a group that will activate to address complaints of this nature. For quite some time, there have been multiple reports of gender-based violence on the island. News 5 spoke with NWC President Tia Garcia Ramirez.
There are situations and that are clearly distinct and unique to every place, to every district, but particularly San Pedro has its own issues to deal with and its own different set of circumstances. And so in order for the district committees to really be effective, they need to work within the framework that they're in. And San Pedro has a large community and has challenges that are unique here. District chapters are really multi-sectoral in that they do have representatives from the police, from health, from education. Of course, we are under the Ministry of Human Development, and so we have the Human Development Officer here. And so really it is a very multi-sectoral collaborative effort that goes on.
Just ahead, learning Mandarin for cultural exchange and educational opportunities. The latest program when we return. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Exercise of the power conferred upon it by Section 7 of the Electricity Act, Chapter 221 of the Laws of Belize, and with the approval of the Minister, the Public Utilities Commission PUC, the Commission hereby notifies the general public that it intends to enact a bylaw in relation to electricity procurement and power purchase. The bylaw shall govern the procurement processes for wholesale, distributed energy resources, and short-term power purchases by addressing the roles of the Commission and the utilities. The bylaw seeks to secure public welfare, national security, and services at the best value for money. Further clarify the exercise by the Commission of its duties under the Public Utilities Commission Act and Electricity Act. Provide for increased conservation and efficiency of electricity resources by utilities and equitable retail rates for consumers, and detail the RFP and PPA processes. Regulatory tools to achieve the Commission's public interest mandate of setting tariffs for the provision of electricity service to the public. Members of the public are invited to give their comments by email info@puc.bz or post by 17 July 2021. The draft bylaw may be viewed in its entirety at the offices of the Commission at 41 Gabriel Lane, Belize City, or on the PUC website at www.puc.bz.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Char-Broil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's.
Why should you wear your mask? To protect myself. My friends. My family and others. I wear my mask because I love my grandparents. With so many reasons to wear a mask, we continue to advise persons to wear a face mask properly, covering both nose and mouth. Together, we can keep Belize COVID-19 safe.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800-A-WAY OUT or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize, with funding from the Engender and Spotlight projects.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos. Y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
Since 2017, the Embassy of Taiwan in Belize has been hosting a Mandarin language program in Belize. This year, they are taking the course to Banca Viejo del Carmen. It was officially launched on Friday evening. Here's a look at how that went.
The Taiwan Embassy in Belize launched its Mandarin program in Banca Viejo del Carmen. According to Ambassador David Chin, it seeks to teach a language but also strengthen the partnership between the two countries.
For the Embassy of Taiwan in Belize, our most important mission is to make Taiwan closer to Belize and Belize closer to Taiwan. And we sincerely hope that the Belize Taiwan Mandarin program could not only provide those who are interested in learning Mandarin one more the language weapon in today's very competitive workplace. But also we can make more and more Belizean people to know more about Taiwan's culture, Taiwan's tradition, Taiwan's arts.
Ishmael Garbut, a recipient of the Taiwan Scholarship, and Lynn Madrid, a teacher at Mopan Technical High School, are enrolled in the program.
I believe this course is something beneficial to me, as I see it as a catalyst to where I could adapt easily in Taiwan. With learning the language and the culture of my my instructors, I believe it will help me, and that's one of the main reasons I am here today.
As an educator, I see that it is very important to participate in this Mandarin class. The knowing Mandarin empowers me with this language. We have students from Taiwan coming to Belize, so therefore knowing Mandarin will be an asset to assist them to obtain their education here in Belize that they deserve. So overall, my view, diversity in language will strengthen a teacher's capability in the student learning environment.
Edward Yang will be teaching the course, which will run for about 3 months. He explains how he will impart Mandarin to his students by having them experience Taiwanese culture.
This program is focusing on to develop those students their basic life skills. For example, they're going to learn how to order the food, like self-introduction, those basic skills, because I think that here in Belize, there are a lot of Taiwanese people, they live here in Belize. So I think that why don't we use that resource, so then they could just use that. And then so in the future, I'm going to take them to, for example, to make a phone call to order the food from the Taiwanese restaurants. So then they could also try the Taiwanese food. And in the class, also not just the language, I also teach them about the culture, so they can know better about the culture. Not just so I'll prepare music or videos, and also even more, I could also prepare Taiwanese food, or even experience the culture, like how do we use the chopsticks or everything, so they could experience as well. There is a saying that language is the carrier of the culture. So actually that, you cannot separate language and culture. So you always have to be together.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.